And the number 43 will be worn the rest of the season on the Penn State helmets. And we figure he's watching at McGee Rehabilitation Hospital in Philadelphia, and we send our regards as well to Adam. More on him later. The kickoff by Dan Nystrom, and Penn State will receive, picked up by one of the upbacks, and it's brought out to the 31-yard line.
Returned it, pretty good return, good field position.
The starting quarterback for Penn State, Rashard Casey, good with the football, passing and running, and the backs and receivers in our Best Buy starting lineup.
Tony Stewart, the leading receiver at tight end. Eric McCoo with over 100 yards last week.
Minnesota won the toss. And by the way, they're 6 for 6 this season on winning the toss. And they deferred, and that's why Penn State has the football on 1st down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Out of the I formation. Casey sends the man in motion. And they go play action. Casey stumbles down out of the shotgun. This is something relatively new. They just showed it a week ago in the Penn State offense. Casey all sorts of time. Now running around in the pocket. Now he'll turn it upfield. And he is brought down. Again, a great field position to open for Minnesota. And he hands off to Tellis Redmond to the middle of the line, a gain of maybe 1.
Of course, the interior people, Adams and Kennedy, are the ones that are going to get the push up front. Pressured today, Steve, because of the running attack of Minnesota last week, 357 yards.
2nd down and 9, 3 receivers out to the right, but they hand it off to Redmond. Fumble, football is loose, and Penn State has it. Penn State recovers. Anthony Adams is on the football, and Minnesota wastes great field position and hands it right over to Penn State.
Against the grain, it looks like he has an opening, but the hole closes quickly. And Shamar Finney, outside linebacker, is a man that gets the hand in, strips him. The ball goes backwards. Adams right on top of the ball for the recovery.
Turnover. The defense comes up with a big play. We'll see how many more big plays they have in them on this drive. Here's Casey off the play action. Under pressure. Fires, and it is dropped. In the hands of Brian. Teams handed golden offensive opportunities to start. And we'll see if Penn State can do anything with theirs. Flag on the field. A bunch of them as Casey is at the 49 of Minnesota. And they'll kick it away from the 45. Looking to pooch one to the corner. Tellis Redmond won't have a chance, and that is out of the end zone. Penn State defense, always known as linebacker U, a very inexperienced trio at the linebacker position this season.
In the secondary, James Boyd is their hard hitter at free safety. They liken him a lot to the former Raider.
Set and out of the shotgun. Here's Cole. They set up the quick hit screen out to the left to Tellis Redmond, and he is bumped out shy of the first. Greatly aided by their defense. And flags fly again. Rashard Casey under center, and he gives it to the 2nd man through, and it's Eric McCoo, and he's out to the on 2nd down and 10. Casey gives it to Larry Johnson, and he finds a hole. There is a flag on the play, but Johnson is rumbled over.
Oh. The reason I say that, Steve, is at the top.
Long. 14 out of the shotgun. Here's Casey. Gets the pressure from inside and outside. And again, a Minnesota team that put 44 points on the board a week ago. And it's called the quarterback on the keeper. Off the good play action, and flags.
Perfect block downfield, but it was a hold.
Trying to keep that streak alive today. Here's Cole. Little swing pass out to Tellis Redmond. Plenty of green in front of him. And he is bumped out at the 30. 3 receivers out to the left. Cole will hand it up to Redmond up the middle, and he's ground last week. The most for a Minnesota offense since '86, and they keep it on the ground, and why not? It's working. It's Red. They send one man in motion on 2nd down and 7, and you go with what work uniforms, you think college football. Here's Cole. That pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Bouch.
This working. I think that Jew actually is fooled. I think he's supposed to be in coverage there on Fitzpatrick. Instead, he shows his
23-yard attempt from Dan Nystrom. Hash mark to the right, and he's able to put it through. And Minnesota, they've struggled, outscored by the odds 60. So they get out of the first quarter with a lead. Should be in pretty good shape. Nystrom able to kick it off to Kenny Watson for Penn State. Finds a seam. He's out to the 30.
The big run up the middle by Johnson was
3 and outs for the Nittany Lions. Try to avoid that here on a 2nd down and 8. Off the play action, Casey rolling to his right, firing on the run, and it's complete to Tony Stewart. To start every game all season. Here's Casey, hands it off to the big foot. Here's Casey, and they play it safe, and they hand it off to the right side.
Look at those feet.
Couple of fancy at Penn State's 45-yard line. And they start this at the 46 with Tellis Redmond. A tremendous season a season ago. Went to their first bowl game since '86. Tellis Redmond on the run. Down inside on second down and 11. Here's Cole, straight drop, some pressure, quick release, and it's Ron Johnson. Here's Cole now, rolling out and taking off. He touched the football, and he's bumped out of bounds already from 23. This will be from 28, with 7 seconds left in the first quarter.
Great catch by the holder, Green. Did you see that,
not
Steve?
a problem.
That's a terrific holder.
Nystrom belts it down to the 3 for Kenny Watson. The first quarter has expired. This will be the final play as the clock shows
positioning.
zeros.
They didn't feel at all. The quarterback did it. The running backs were in the right spot on blocking assignments. We'll see if that continues here.
All right, good job snooping around, Dave. Thank you. We'll see if that makes a difference as they send the man in motion for Penn State. Flag flies. Play continues. Pass by Casey is completed.
Situation, and that's what it is. And Minnesota's certainly going to refuse.
Great job on the last one. This attempt from 24 yards away. That time the snap is good and the hold is fine, and the kick is perfect. A hat trick for Dan Nystrom. Nystrom puts it in the air, and it's Watson from the 3-yard line to the 20, out to the 25. Casey hands it off for McCoo. Penn State still looking for their first down of the afternoon. Casey pumps, now trying to avoid the pressure, and swings it out, able to complete the pass to Kenny Watson. But again, there was a first down. Willie Middlebrooks.
David Gibbs saying, what? You mean they're actually going to get a first down? Well, obviously, if you see their previous drives, they have been not able to do that. 5 straight 3-and-outs, all resulting in punts.
During the pass, holding, defense, 10 yards.
On second down and 10. Hand it off to Larry Johnson. Casey on a straight drop. Blitz was coming. Lofted, got a man wide open. And it's complete to Drummond. Drummond cuts back to the inside, and he's inside the 30.
Take a look. You're going to see the corner out at the bottom, right in his face. Now watch. You see Graham fall down right there, and the result is he is wide open, cuts back against the grain and gets some extra yardage. But then again,
ball at the 28-yard line. Little fake to the right, a pitch to the left to McCoo. Eric, single setback. Casey goes play action, gonna keep it. Bootleg out to the left. And Casey dumps it off the middle. Drummond actually ran into the official. And then 4th down conversions. 4th and inches. And we hear from the crowd for the first time this afternoon. Motion and flags fly. And they're roaring in the stands, and they're roaring on a 41-yard field goal attempt. He is perfect when it comes to field goals, not so perfect on extra points, though, this year. The snap was okay, and the hold better, and the kick is good. Ryan Primanti now 7 for 7 on the season, where Dave Ryan is right now on Monday Night Football on ABC. Thomas Tapei, the ball carrier, and as you would expect.
all right, we're going to be there next week.
Yeah, we'll get a look at them next week. And Cole's audibling on 1st and 27. Separates player from football.
Him to make some plays. Here's the quick throw. Judge for yourself with the feet whether or not that was forward or backward. He never had the ball. Never had it.
24, Travis Cole from the shotgun. Inside handoff, nothing. Thoughts on that one, Todd? 55th consecutive sellout in that series. Here's Casey. Casey, straight drop. The throw, looks sideline, has a man. It looked like it went through the arms.
Yeah, it's coming.
Not meeting them, but he's come on since. Swing pass to Eric McCoo. Wow, a real under 2 to play in the first half. 9-3 Minnesota. Casey in all sorts of trouble, and he throws it away. Checked in the back to Renato Fitzpatrick. College football, 4 field goals on the board. It is Redmond right into the line of scrimmage.
Penn State does the right thing here in calling timeout, and that is that with all the punts, you might as well take a shot at it.
Back at his own 1-yard line. Good snap, and Greening will get it away after some contact the last time he punted the football. Rod Perry steps up at the 50, and he is spun around and brought down. Took just enough time to end the first half after the punt of 35 yards. Halftime in Minneapolis. 4 field goals on the board, 3 of them for Minnesota. Now we send you to Reese Davis for SportsCenter in-game on the Minnesota. The rushing yards for Minnesota, not noted on those numbers. 14 penalties to open up half number 2. David Kimball puts it in the air. And Jack Brewer will stay with it in the end zone. Minnesota will open first. Oh, something to look forward to. Thank you, Dave. As they open up on 1st and 10 from the 20. Here's Travis Cole, and he's dropped at the 10-yard line by Michael Haynes.
Coming into this particular play, Cole had 14 yards rushing, and obviously that will drop with the sack. Only 19 yards passing, 3 of 8 in the first.
5 sacks on the season. That's tops in the Big Ten. And here's Tellis Redmond carrying over his first half. That after the big effort a week ago as well. They keep it on the ground, and Redmond runs it. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. There it is, back to the ground game, and nothing. 3rd down and 10. Cole throws, and a nice catch. Elvin Bowju was the injured Penn State player. Redmond on the carry. He's got a Jack Lambert poster in his bedroom. That pass is completed. Cole on 1st down. Give him the spot. Here's Cole looking for it. Got Johnson streaking down the sideline. What a grab, and it's a catch. Ron Johnson down to the 7-yard line to pick up a stop for Ron Johnson. Option. Travis Cole keeping it. Plays. They've yet to complete a pass. Cole will try. There it is. Completed pass. Touchdown to Ron Johnson. Our first touchdown of the afternoon, and it goes to Minnesota.
Now lining up for the kickoff. Penn State use a good play in the special teams as well. Little things that haven't happened for the Nittany Lions throughout most of the season, although they did make plays on the punt team against Purdue a week ago. Little high, short kickoff here, and Penn State running it back right up the middle with the big fella back in the backfield behind him, and Casey firing on the out pattern, and he's got his man out there. Picking up the 1st down is Larry Johnson. The ball is loose, and Minnesota creating a turnover.
22-10 coming up on 9 minutes to play in the 4th. Here's Cole to pass. Finds a wide open Tellis Redmond out of the backfield. This is as well. It's been a highlight-filled 2nd half with 8 minutes left here in the 4th quarter, and Minnesota up by 12.
The crowd very much into this one.
Here's Cole, gets some pressure from the outside, lofts one towards the end zone, looking for Johnson again! And it was just knocked away. Brian Scott on to kick it away from his own 50. Rod Perry will let it bounce. Benefit of a roster. He's my new guy. All right, here's Penn State now. Rashard Casey under pressure, trying to step up. And he is drilled, and a loose football. And yes, Minnesota has it. Other than that, they've really struggled offensively. And the turnovers have not been the story. It's been a lack of execution, really. Here's Cole off the naked bootleg. And he is forced. This is a 3rd down and 5. Cole will put it on the ground to Redmond. Nothing doing. That's been the one.
He's got to feel pretty good about himself.
This one from 24 yards away. And you're right. Dan Neisterman missed a couple of field goals, 20-yard field goals earlier in the season.
So that's gonna bode well later on if it comes down to a field goal to win or lose a game.
Kenny Watson is back inside the 5. Looking to break one here and get something going for Penn State. And in Division 1A football. And none, of course, at State College. Here's Rashard Casey avoiding some tacklers and running down the sideline. Different offensive line every single week so far this season. That pass is completed. Casey to McCoo. Continue to update you on the goings-on in college football throughout the day here on ESPN2. Same play. 3rd down and 6. Here's Casey. Maybe the last chance for Penn State.
Great effort.
Gets it ahead, but they'll be short yards. So he's really come on and needs a big play on the ground. They'll try McCoo, and he leans over, and 3.5 left to play here in the 4th. Casey lofts one up and too far, and there's a flag. It comes late. Eddie Drummond wanted the flags. Oh, a power failure. They've had 2 fumbles and forced to punt twice. Throwing end zone, batted away, but flags fly. Got ourselves a ball game here. Here's Penn State now. Rashard Casey throwing, caught, touchdown. And it's Tony Stewart. The first reception by a tight end today is a touchdown catch.
Now here's the debate, Steve, here with 3:16 remaining in the game. Or do they kick it deep and depend on their defense?
First, I'd like to hear your commentary over these great highlights.
Well, again, Stewart's a terrific pass-catching tight end, and talking to Fran Gander, he said that he has the quality, he has the ability like some of the other great tight ends at Penn State, like Troy Drayton and Kyle Brady, both.
And it was effective. And a flashlight like Wayne Corbett able to catch that football. Onside kick.
That was fumbled. It was fumbled. I think Penn State's got it.
Penn State says they have it. Waiting for the indication from the officials.
They do indeed.
And yes, Penn State has recovered for the onside kick. So here we go. Casey, pressure from the backside, unloads and completes to Tony Stewart. Casey pumps, thought about it. One of his receivers went down, the tight end he was looking for. Scrambling, all sorts of time, now puts it upfield. Wow, and he'll run it. Here's Casey looking to make it 9 in a row. He does. It's McCoo. Breaks 1 tackle sack in the Nittany Lions backfield. On 2nd and 1, here's Casey. Bullet across the middle. Was looking for John.
Plays called in that huddle. Run for the first down and then throw.
That pass is completed to Rod Perry. Now they're set. They don't spike it. They pull the play off. And intended again for Gilman. 3rd down and 10.
Blitz.
Got to score twice no matter what. They complete the pass. They're 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions, but it wasn't 4th and 6 with the game on the line. That pass is tipped and knocked away. McCoo, the intended receiver. Casey's pass a bit too high. The blowout win here at home against Illinois, 44-10. A ranked team 1 week ago. A win here against Penn State. And they'll go to Ohio State next week and try to make it 3 in a row. The Gophers go to 2-1 in the conference. Penn State drops down to 1-2 in the conference. And Joe Paterno remains 4 wins on a field goal in the final second. This time, a different story. They win by 9, 25-16. For Dave Ryan and Todd Christensen, this is Steve Levy. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. That's the story from Minneapolis. The Golden Gophers defeat the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Now we send you back to the studio for the Accurate College Football Today scoreboard and Reese Davis. Take it away, Reese.